All right, special edition of Splash Hit today. This episode is from London, England. We're in Camden right now at the World's End Pub. So, traveled over the pond to see my dear friend Susan Slusser. We're both at the bar right now. Susan, thanks for having me. We've been having fun the last couple of days together, all over the place. You're wearing me out, man. You're the best host ever, but I can't keep up with you.
Thanks, FP. I got this place kind of nailed down. You know how much I love my London time. This is fun. We've had some technical things going on trying to broadcast from a pub. I cannot tell you how great the staff here at the World's End is, letting us sneak in before they open and do this. So we got to go a little quickly because they got to open and sell some beer here pretty soon. And I'm going to do the disclaimer, FP. Yeah, we have no beers because it's not opening time yet. Drink responsibly, everybody. Pubs are more than just places to drink. They're community centers, pub quizzes. Pubs are so near and dear to my heart. So many of my friends and I just like meet at pubs, and we will meet one of them later. I've got a British San Francisco Giants fan who's going to explain to everybody why he's a Giants fan from here, and also why he's a baseball player in Hertfordshire, England. So that's going to be super fun.
Yeah, a little London, England flair today for you. Giants fan in London. I couldn't disagree with you more, Susan. Pubs are for drinking, and that's what we've done the last 3 days. So that was a really nice disclaimer. You're the responsible one in this family. I'm not. And we've been having a blast. You've taken me to Christmas fairs. We've drank mulled wine. I've seen all the tourist attractions. Now we're going to Richmond today after this podcast, and we're going to go see Ted Lasso in the bar in Ted Lasso. So that's my favorite TV show. That's your favorite TV show. So I'm super fired up for that. And I know, you know what, everybody listening probably doesn't care about like our first world problems. I'm in London, England, but it's so nice of you to host me. It's just been so much fun so far. I don't even want to go home at this point. This place is outstanding. The people, like you just said, are so nice. Like, and people are nice in San Francisco, but this is next level nice here with the hospitality in this place. And everywhere we've gone, the Christmas fair last night, when everybody telling us where to go. I mean, yeah, this place is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's I mean, obviously I am a huge fan, but the World's End, it's in British parlance, it's my local. It's just a sort of a block and a half. I guess that's telling everybody where I live. But beautiful Camden Town. Everybody, if you're in London, the World's End is just opposite the Camden Tube Station. You cannot miss it. It's iconic. It's been around since I think the 1600s. Charles Dickens drank here. I mean, I think most clubs in London say that, but still, it's super cool. The vibe is great, and it's also got. I think a lot of people that know me know that my main thing is music, live music. They have a live music venue underneath Underworld that is super cool. I just saw a great band from Nashville there the other day, Parker Barrow. Check them out. Playing with a Canadian band who's incredibly fun, The Damn Truth. So I love the World's End. I love Underworld. I love Camden. But we have Giants news, and I think that's probably what people are going to tune in. It's actually news. It's not news. It's non-news that's all the buzz right now. FP, we were talking about it beforehand. What are your thoughts on this Giants out on Tatsuya Imai?
Well, I don't know that they are out. I mean, I know there's been reports, and I know you reported it, that Greg Johnson wasn't going to go big and long deals on free agent pitchers. And then there were some other reports saying that they're out on this guy. And I think we're all excited as Giants fans. know I am, because, you watch the video of this guy. His split is ridiculous. His fastball is sneaky. It's got good life in the zone. He's kind of got a 3/4 upshoot delivery. And his stats last year were just incredible. 10-5 with a 1.92. I mean, so for Nippon in the Japanese Professional League. And I think when I hear reports and being on the other side of things and be on the inside, and I don't have any information, obviously I'm in London with you, I'm always skeptical about things. I know you talked to the owner, and he said that, but I don't think they were all in on Willie Adames last year, and they ended up signing. Oh, no. Oh, I thought we went out. We've been having technical difficulties. I just had PTSD right there. It's been hard to get on.
Yeah,
But
you know what? We're going to have some glitches here doing this stuff in the pub.
yeah, Yeah, we are, but it's still fun because we're in a pub in London and you just can't beat that.
Totally.
But like what sometimes, and this is no offense to you guys, the media and the reporters, sometimes you hear things, you run with them, and I react when this guy signs with somebody else. And that's just kind of the baseball way of looking at it, because I've been on the inside for so long with, in DC with Mike Rizzo, and now being friends with Zach and Buster. Like, they don't come up to me with information, but like, I'm privy to some things that maybe you guys aren't, and just based on experience. And I know nothing about what's going on right now with this guy. What's reported and what's actually happening, like trade rumors of the trade deadline. I've talked to GMs and said, we've never even talked to that player or talked about that player. And then it never happened. So I freak out when I find out. I think that's a line from Ted Lasso, if I'm not mistaken. So I know Giants fans are really upset right now based on some reports recently. But until that guy signs with somebody else, and until that deal is inked with somebody else, I'm not giving up hope that he's a Giant.
Well, here's my take. As you kind of mentioned, and as what we put up a little bit early, I talked to Greg Johnson a month ago, almost exactly a month ago. And he was pretty specific in my Q&A in the Chronicle about things with the budget. I'm putting it up here. But they are not necessarily looking for long-term deals right now. This was in the San Francisco Chronicle online on November 4th. He also was very specific in that Q&A about saying pitchers in particular, they're not looking for long-term deals. They have 5 long-term deals right now. Only one is a pitcher, Logan Webb. I think if they do talk about long-term deals, FP, it's not going to be for a pitcher. I think it would be for somebody like Kyle Tucker, somebody who's an everyday player. And we know the rates that pitchers break down. This is not an unusual tactic. I think if they go out and get another starting pitcher, like a big name guy, I think they go trade. And I think that they will have a lot of options there. The two that spring to mind, we have talked about them before. One is very obvious, Freddie Peralta. The Giants love the way the Brewers do things. They love Brewers. Zach Manassian has the Brewers background. Why wouldn't you? Freddie Peralta is also Willy Adames' best friend. He's got a year left on his deal. At the end of that, you talk to him about, hey, did you like your time here? Let's talk about a deal. That I could see. And then the one that you and I think both really like a lot is Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan would be, I think he's a local guy. He's from Marin, and he's been fantastic with Minnesota. Minnesota's obviously making a lot of changes. Go out and get Joe Ryan. That's what I would do instead of, somebody who's kind of an unknown. Now, the Japanese pitchers have had far more success than maybe some of the position players that have come over. That's been a little bit more hit and miss. But I think that if you're going to give 9 figures to somebody and you're the Giants, I think it's unlikely based on what Greg said, period. But I think you do it for somebody like Kyle Tucker.
Well, when you talk about tying that kind of money up, maybe you can get multiple additions instead of this Japanese pitcher who I still can't say his name. So I'm letting you say his name because even though I'm a broadcaster,
Tatsuya Imai. Yeah.
Learn how to say his name when he's in the orange and black. How about that?
Okay, there you go. So you'll never learn it? Okay.
I think the one thing, like, I always tell Giants fans, I'll never tell you how to feel because you're fans. And I love the passion, the intelligence in the Giants fan base. But maybe this is just a me thing and being in baseball my whole life that I'll react when it's time to react, not before it's time to react. And in Giants fans' defenses, a lot of signings that didn't happen, right? With Aaron Judge. We can go down that road if we want. So there's a little PTSD and scar tissue there based on what's happened in the past. But I also think it's important to remember that with Yoshinobu Yamamoto and what he did for the Dodgers, that every single Japanese pitcher that comes over is not going to be that guy. That guy's got stuff plus intangibles. And what I do like about the guy the Giants are talking to, I got to say his name. Hold on a second. Tatsuya Imai. Is that good? Not even close?
No.
All right. The right-hander from Japan.
Tatsuya Imai.
Am I saying it right? No, but what I do like about him is he said he wants to take down the Dodgers, and I think that's why we all got excited. I'm like, this guy said the right said the right thing. I don't want to go be a part of that. I want
Smart.
to be a guy that takes them down. I
Super
want
smart.
everybody like that. That's everybody in the Giants mentality, starting with Buster and Zach and Tony and all the players. You got to want to be the team that takes them down. But getting back to my initial point, get some more players for that money. If it doesn't happen, I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I don't have any inside information, but get some more players and stockpile some really good players in your lineup, maybe, because you got Logan Webb, you got Robbie Ray, you got Landon Root. They were 10th in the league in pitching last year with a 3.82 ERA as a team. So the pitching's there. And I understand adding to your strengths, and Buster wants pitching and defense. I get that. But I think what we all got caught up in, and I'll include myself as a Giants fan, is the way that guy talks, what he said about taking the Dodgers down. I'm like, I want that guy. He's got long hair. He's got the mullet. He's got a little bit of swagger on the mound. He's got confidence. He's got moxie. He's got intangibles. And I'm saying this seeing like 10 minutes of a YouTube video that I watched a week ago on his stuff. His split's filthy. It just disappears. And he was making Japanese hitters look terrible, like breaking down swings. So I got really excited about him, excited about his quote. But I'm not hanging my hat on Greg Johnson told you in general he's not going to spend that kind of money in a long-term deal on a pitcher.
Pretty specific about pitchers.
The article that came out recently said it just kind of went in that direction. So until I see that, I'm good. I'm not freaking out yet.
And I'm going to give Andy Baggerly and Buster Olney from ESPN both credit for their work yesterday in kind of breaking down these things further, specifically with Imai, because obviously I didn't ask Greg Johnson specifically about Imai. That's Buster Posey and Zach Nanazian's job. I just asked about budget. But to me, he was pretty clear. And to me, and we're going to have to go to an ad in a second here, so FP. But to me, they need offense. If you're going to spend, you spend on offense, and the position players are a better bet on a long-term deal. But I don't even think a guy who I think is not altogether happy with the Dodgers and would be maybe not a bad addition on a shorter-term deal, Cody Bellinger. And with that, I know this is kind of your job, but I'm just going to do it. We probably need an ad here. Let's do it.
We're in London.
I have a unique holiday gift idea. It is called Superpower because, Kratz, they care about you. It's a very unique health platform. It's new, and it finally gets you the answers that you need about what's really happening inside your body and what to do about it.
I got the answers. I'm on the journey of what to do about it. Why would I not want to give it to one of my loved ones in my life?
Give your loved ones something that actually lasts. That's right, Kratz. Better health and more time with you. If you go to superpower.com/gift, you get a free $49 premium gift box with your gifted membership. After you sign up, they'll ask you how you heard about them. Please mention FT to support the show. One simple lab test measures 100 plus biomarkers. We're talking hormones, vitamins, minerals, and so much more. You'll get a full health report and a personalized action plan built by clinicians, including nutrition, supplement, and lifestyle guidance. Get after it, FT fam.
All right, give the
all that. Yeah.
My liver is going to need the gift of health after this trip with you. So yeah, you know what?
Don't glamorize it. Glamorize the pub though.
We're in London today, and everybody drives on the wrong side of the road here. So why don't you run the show a little bit more? I'll just say this: Dylan Cease's 7-year, $120 million deal with the Blue Jays might have screwed a lot of things up for a lot of teams. Not that he doesn't deserve that. I'm always rooting for the player to make as much money as he wants, but off the boards with that contract, that put a kink in the plans possibly.
Well, I've got two guys for you, two more pitchers. If we want to look overseas, the Korean MVP was Cody Ponce, who is George Kittle's brother-in-law, among other things, and had a fantastic season. Played with the Pirates, so he has big league experience. Went to Korea and really honed his game. I absolutely think they have to be talking to him. And I certainly know, and I know this beyond a reasonable doubt, they have talked to Zach Gallen. He's been a thorn in the Giants' side. He is a guy that they could add on not a long-term deal. Very good, middle of the order type guy, but knows the NL West. Merrill Kelly has destroyed the Giants in previous years, knows the NL West. Maybe these aren't necessarily the sexiest names, but when you've got Logan Webb, you've got Robbie Ray, and you've got some kids coming I don't know that you need another frontline starter. Look, I would, Freddie Peralta or Joe Ryan, absolutely. I don't think you have to go out and get Imai. I really don't. And I still am saying the need is for offense, everybody. It's not for pitching. The pitching was good last year. I think it will be good again. I think, certainly Landon Roop is going to take another step forward. He's going to be totally healthy, and they've got a lot of other good options. So I understand why people are upset. I understand why Giants fans look at this and go, they're not spending money. They have spent money. Look, they've got 5 long-term deals. Ownership approved the Rafael Devers deal last year. I mean, this isn't a team that is like, sitting on their wallet and not bringing it out for, to pay for a round. This is a team that has spent pretty strongly. They're in a division with the Dodgers. You are not going to outspend the Dodgers. Should they have offered Shohei $1 billion? Yes, they should have. They would have wound up ahead of the curve if they'd done that and he'd said yes. That's the only, but nobody at the time would have gone like, offer him $1 billion. They offered what the Dodgers offered. Maybe they should have gone up from that. I think he would have gone to the Dodgers no matter what. And you cannot outspend them. So they got to be smart. I'm not making, with like the Greg Johnson Q&A stuff, I'm just reporting what he said. Straight up. I don't really want to weigh in one way or another whether I think it's smart or not. I love it when owners spend. You know how long I covered the A's. I hate to bring it up every time. The A's didn't spend enough, and they should have. They had the means. So this is a team that could spend what they want. They have the resources. I know the Chronicle and other outlets, including The Athletic and the SF Standard, have talked about the fact that they now are partners with 6th Street, who have some investment. I don't get the impression that that is holding them back from spending. And certainly they've got the whole Bay Area to themselves. Everybody, their ticket sales were up, all of that kind of good stuff. They're healthy enough to spend. If they want to, they could spend more. So it is a choice ultimately. But if it were me, I would spend on offense.
Do you remember the Dodgers signing Yamamoto? Everybody was all up in arms saying he was unproven, and that, man, that's a big contract. That's a big check to write for a guy that's never played in the major leagues in the States before, and there was a lot of question around it.
Yeah.
So in that regard, I feel like that might be a tough check to write for the Giants on a guy that's not proven. And getting back to Cody Ponce, that's a really good option. For those of you who don't know, 29 games, 180 and 2/3 innings. He was 17-1 in the Korean Baseball League with a 1.89 ERA at 252 strikeouts and 180 and 2/3 innings. So I don't know how that equates or translates into the big leagues, but the big leagues moves a lot faster than the Korean League. The big leagues move a lot faster than the Japanese League. Starting to catch up. The players are getting stronger. The players are throwing harder. There's not the big gap between Asia and America as far as baseball players go that there used to be. And I've talked to people with the Giants about this. So they've done a lot of scouting overseas. I think Buster and Zach went overseas to check out some players together this year. So, why wouldn't you lift up that rug and see what's underneath the carpet and see, if there's some players that could help you win over there. So I don't know. I haven't seen Cody Ponce pitch. I have no idea, but those numbers, they stand out.
Well, I think it's time for you to talk to people about, subscriptions. And while you're doing that, I am going to get my friend Rob Jones scooted in here next to me in a very pretty technically advanced 2-shots. So tell the good people what they should do.
Well, I can't really see it right now because I got my phone in front of my screen, but subscribe. It's real easy. Go to YouTube right now, Splash It Territory. Our next goal is 3,000 subscribers. Really easy, you guys. We're at Splash Hit Territory on X. We're at Splash Hit Territory. We got a site on Instagram, but go on YouTube and click because we want a lot of followers. We got a follower right here, kind of a stalker. He's from London, England, and he's a Giants fan, and he actually plays baseball, and he's friends with Susan. So, Susan, take it away with your buddy.
Yeah, this is my buddy, Rob Jones. He works at the BBC. I don't want to brag too much about Rob, but he works at the BBC. He plays baseball in Hertfordshire, and he's a Giants fan. So, Rob, how the heck are you a Giants fan? Tell the good people.
It was a happy accident. I've always loved all sports. I never really saw baseball in this country because we don't. But I played football, I played cricket, I played rugby. I did a little bit of everything. The first time my wife and I went on holiday to the States, first time I ever went to the States, I thought, I want to go and see American sports. This was 2001. We were going in September. I looked around early in the year, and baseball, there's a lot of games, so there's a lot of tickets available. I thought, let's try this. And that was 2001. This was Bonds hitting 73 home runs. So it was easy to follow them that year. It was easy to get engaged with the whole thing. And it was a lucky accident of the year I chose to look at San Francisco. We had tickets for a game against the Dodgers. So we knew there was a big rivalry to get into. And it just, watching the games on bits of highlights at the BBC, we're able to see the little kind of highlight packages that ESPN, for example, would put around. And looking at those, it just tickled me, got me started. I stayed with it. We didn't actually go that year. And I did have some years desperately trying to make the trip over to Oracle Park. But in those years, they reeled me in. We had the 2002 World Series. Timing was perfect, and it's still with me. As you can see, I thought I had to come kitted out properly today. I do have San Francisco Giants socks on, but I will not show them to you. That's okay.
That would take some contortion. By the way, they gave it. I'm going to do a more technical stuff. I have no idea what I'm doing. They put a nice little fire behind us, if you can see. This is such a nice pub. You've been to this pub before, I'm guessing. The World's End.
But of course, everyone in London comes through the World's End.
Yeah,
quite right.
Rob,
Exactly.
nobody knows about baseball here. It's so humbling when you come over here. Susan took me to my first Premier League game the other day between West Ham and Liverpool. I know nothing about English football, but like you walk around, you tell people like we're doing a podcast for the Giants and nobody knows anything about baseball. Did it take you a long time to learn the 8 million rules and the intricacies of the game and how hard it is to learn for somebody that doesn't know anything about it?
Oh, absolutely. And I still am. I've been playing for more than 20 years, and I'm a catcher now. So I've been through outfield, shortstop, and sort of on to catching. Generally, I'm looking for something that requires less and less running every time I do it. But yes, completely. And we still have, our club in Hertfordshire, the Hearts Baseball, it goes through cycles, but we're growing. We're having a great spurt at the moment. MLB coming over to London has obviously done a lot to help that. So the stadium you went to see West Ham, of course, British baseball fans will have attended real MLB games there. 2019, and then again in 23 and 24. So we've had a lot of teams come over now, and that really gets people to notice something that they didn't even know existed. But yeah, mastering the rules is hard. But when we have people come along, they may have played cricket. They may have played another sort of ball sport. So if they've got a little innate talent in them, they're absolutely fine. And then the first time that you get, you're out on a fly ball because you ran and you're not supposed to, the only way you learn that is by doing it and getting it wrong. My son plays, he did a lot of that this last year, but that's how you learn. And you also, the fundamentals of it are quite straightforward. Same as any sport, it's, there's a long-standing joke about soccer and football and trying to explain the offside rule. And we also change the offside rule every year. So there's very few rules, but they still find a way to mess with it. The fundamentals of the game, simple in football, simple in baseball.
I'm under the impression, Rob, and I wrote a big story about the sort of the state of British baseball as it's being played here a few years ago. Drew Spencer, who's now working in the Yankees organization, was the team of the British national, the coach of the British national team. And they went from ranked somewhere in the 50s, 60s in the world to making the WBC, beating Germany. And now they're ranked sort of 17th or 18th in the world. Jazz Chisholm's played for them. They're our friend Antoine Richardson is the coach with the team still. It's really, I wouldn't say it's taken off, but there are some British players playing in the big leagues and not just guys from the Bahamas like Jazz. I'm a big fan of the British baseball team. Of course I am. But is your impression that people maybe know a little bit more about it, or are people still sort of perplexed when you say you're a baseball fan and you play baseball?
Both are true, but it is something, every little step that makes it that gives people a chance to discover it. That's what we're always trying to do, is get people to know that it exists and know that they can try it. And with anything, a successful British team, GB national team, is always going to help that. And when they played at the World Baseball Classic in 23, and that was a big moment when they, won real games against real international serious players. GB won 2 European tournaments this year. The women won the European tournament in, I think, July. All of that is a sort of great boost for the game, and that's the stuff that gets, the BBC and other websites and newspapers. They see it. People see so much online now, which also cuts out that middleman. So it's not about media coverage anymore. You can discover things that you never knew existed, and that's what we do. And GB absolutely is a huge help in doing that.
I've always thought that like really good cricket players would make good baseball players and make a heck of a lot more money also.
They hit a lot of foul balls. I know that. A couple of things. I really like relegation in the Premier League. Like the Rockies right now should be relegated. I mean, if you don't play well, you go down a step and you're not in the Premier League anymore. And the one thing I don't like is that when a player gets tripped, they look like they got shot by an elephant gun and they're dead for about 5 minutes on the field. Rob, we don't do that in the States in baseball. We tape an aspirin to it. We run down to first base. We don't sit there and lay on the ground in a starfish for 5 minutes like the goalie did the other day. So those are just my instant takes from watching my first Premier League game. I'm no expert.
I think that's part of the great appeal of baseball, because I watch the NFL as well, which I watched long before baseball. And they strangely seem to be adopting now, quite late on, those English Premier League tactics of falling in an impressive way, kind of being thrown 5 meters when they've barely been touched, not mentioning Patrick Mahomes. It's, these things, they sort of spread across sports. Baseball stays pretty pure, and you don't have all that. And that's a wonderful thing to watch a game where you don't have all the nonsense.
Well, I hate to bring this to a close, but they are trying to get this pub open. I mean, they've been wonderful to us, but they do need to do their business here. FP, any final thoughts at all?
No, I just want to thank Rob for coming in. It's cool. I love the accent, man. I could listen to somebody with this accent talk all day long. You could have, I don't know, read the menu here at the World's End, and I would have listened to you talk. But that's good stuff. It's good to know that there's Giants fans everywhere. And the one thing that I've really realized since I've come back to San Francisco from the East Coast is Giants fans travel, man. When we're on the road, it doesn't matter where the Giants are playing, they're always there. And it's nice to know that there's some Giants fans in London, England. That's really, really cool, Rob. Thanks for coming on today.
Lovely to talk to you.
And Rob's family has come over to San Francisco numerous times. So maybe the next time they come over, I'll let people know, and they can go say hi to him at Oracle Park. His family is gorgeous and also has beautiful accents. So you guys are all Giants fans, right?
We're working on some of them.
Oh,
yeah.
If there's a Dodger fan, you need to disown that kid, okay? I'm just saying right now. Not telling you how to parent, but that would be good parenting.
FP and I don't always agree, but I agree on that.
All advice is welcome.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. Another episode in the books. We'll see you guys later on this week. Thanks for listening. Like I say on the way out every single time, swing hard in case you hit it.